James, afternoon. How are you getting on? So I suppose just off the back of the opening game there on Saturday, how pleased were you? I suppose following on from the detailed review of the game, were there things where you look back and you were even more happy with? Were there things to work on ahead of the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I was really pleased. So I think, firstly, I can't tell you how much we've missed having supporters there. The lads absolutely loved having such support back in the Aviva. I think it's something we've missed as a club. I think it's one of our points of difference in the bigger European Cup games, and it's something we've missed over the last couple of years. So it was brilliant to have so many back. In terms of our own performance, I think one thing we were happy with is just kind of the speed that we played at. We knew just how big and physical the Bulls were, that we wanted to try and play quick. But to do that, our ruck needed to be early, needed to be aggressive so we could play on top of them, and I thought we did that quite well. I thought our set pieces as well was another positive that we took from the game, which is always an important part of playing, a big kind of power-based team. So the ruck and the set piece were two takeaways that we were happy with. Definitely still growth and still room for improvement there. So we want to keep pushing those areas of our game on.
From a personal point of view, is this a big season for you? Do you feel, having missed out on selection with the Lions, do you feel maybe there's a point to prove for you this season?
Every season is a big season for me, to be honest. But yeah, I'm really excited about this season. I think the new United Rugby Championship's got the nuts and bolts of being a really exciting competition, and with the European Cup back this year with fans and supporters, and obviously a big international year as well, hopefully. I'm looking forward to attacking it as well as I can.
You say every year is a big year for you. What are the things this season that you want to improve in your own game? Any individual elements?
I'm always trying to keep growing, keep progressing my work in the set piece, and then I suppose part of being any lock at this level, it's the nuts and bolts of that: the ruck, carry, tackle. Always looking to keep getting better, to keep getting more dominant in those areas.
And just finally for me, a quick little one. How have you found over the last couple of months with Andrew Porter and Hale swapping sides over the pre-season campaign? You're the man who's going to be behind one of them at various times. How have you felt they've been kind of getting used to things?
In fairness, if there's any man that can do it at this stage of his career that can swap over to tight end, it's probably Keelan Hale, isn't it? There were probably a few teething issues in the first couple of weeks, but the last few sessions he's really turned the corner, and I think that was his first scrum there when he came on the weekend, and we got a scrum penalty from it. So I think he's been really good at it, and fair play to him being able to being up for that at that stage of his career. It's probably perhaps a little easier going from tight end to loose head for Ports, but he's taken to it like a duck to water as well, so it's good.
All right, thanks, James.
James, Sinead here in Virgin Media News. Neil mentioned it there about the lines. I don't think we've spoken to you since. How tough was that to take, not being part of the squad, so when so many people expected you to be part of it?
I was disappointed at the time. It feels like a long time ago now. So at this stage, I'm only really looking forward. And as I said, it's such an exciting season this year and year to look forward to. So delighted to be back in the last few weeks and looking forward to hopefully getting stuck in again this week.
Appreciate you want to move forward, but just one final question. I know Johnny Sexton said, for example, that it's something you might not get over. Obviously, he's a different age scale to you. Did you take it as hard as he seems to have done?
No, I'm not really interested in kind of ruminating or anything. I'm just looking forward now and looking to get better as a player.
Okay, thanks, James.
No problem.
James, this is Don Swift on audio only. the Bulls and the physicality in South African rugby. How would you compare that now with Saracens and Toulouse?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think they play kind of similar models. They kind of remind me a bit of La Rochelle. Just as I said, kind of a big power-based team. I think going away and playing the Bulls in South Africa will be a very, very tough game. I actually think as well, hopefully, playing these types of games will be good for us, as the season progresses and as we come up against those kind of bigger French teams that are kind of similar models. Probably, as I said, what's let us down, I think what let us down probably last year, that La Rochelle game was, the Leinster ways, kind of playing on top of teams, playing quick. But in order to do that, you need to win the contacts, and our ruck wasn't early enough. It wasn't aggressive enough last year, so we couldn't play the type of game that we want to play. So that's been kind of an area that we've looked at that we want to grow, and that's why we were pleased with how we went in that area on the weekend when we got that part of our game right. We could play quick, and we could kind of try to run those big heavy forwards around the park.
Yeah, you played a number of kind of non-frontline players like Osborne and Maloney, but they seem to fit into the system quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think Maloney did really well, and I think we've got great depth now in the second row position. And Jamie Osborne, for such a young guy, looks like the complete package. Even his kicking game is unbelievable. I think we're in a good spot, and having some really good signings as well. Having Mike Alalatoa come in as well to add to the squad. I think kind of if not now, when this year for us, we need to kind of push on.